What's going on, everyone? This is Sarge, and we are kicking off a new series. This is my top 5 favorite objective plays in Battlefield, stretching across all platforms, all series, and all kits in the game. And that's the first episode that we're going to be kicking off. At number 5, we have a clip from Toivo Lamimaki, which is on Bad Company 2, the good old Bad Company series, and we see him get a few kills off with his M249 and just go on a massive Rambo spree here to defend what we see as the enemy had taken the objective. And so he's on defense, playing on the Xbox, getting that massive killing spree and trying to get that last revive before he gets picked off. Fortunately, he was able to have his teammates disarm the objective, which in turn turned around the game. So beautiful clip by himself. Number 4, we have a clip by Johan Foshohand, and I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, so I apologize if I make some mistakes on the names here. But as we see him taking the last 2 objectives, this is Battlefield 4, by the way. I'm going to zoom it in here quick, and this is an important thing because he's managed to flank into the enemy camp, and he had the decision to pick off that enemy. He just let him go, which was very important because he didn't want to give himself away since he's behind enemy lines. You see that tank trying to look for any incoming enemy. He's making the right decision here because these are the last 2 objectives on the map called Zavad 311, and B being the most difficult one because it's protected in this enclosed area on the satellite. So taking A first would make actually B being the most difficult one to take. Most teams don't actually get to take that off. And so he's doing the right thing by taking B first, which is the closest one to the enemy base. So he's exposed to the enemy because that's where they spawn. And you see him just go on this massive killing spree by himself before his teammates actually start spawning on him. And he gets this 3 spray with just 1 clip. Beautiful spray with the ACWR, and then goes on defense while he tries to hold the objective as long as he can. Again, you notice that he's just doing this by himself. So he goes around to the top, try to see if there's any recons that are usually like to camp up there to pick off any incoming enemy. And he ends up getting this one guy here before he's finally taken out. But again, it's just such a beautiful clip like that to be able to flank in the enemy, behind enemy lines, and capture that objective basically solo. And so a wonderful clip by himself. Coming in at number 3, we have a clip by A Ghost, or EH Ghost, and he is playing the aggressive Recon. This is the first 2 objectives. There's only 1 left, and he goes and gets that quick scope, and then he's just the beginning of what we're going to see an overhaul of a massive killing spree with the SRR-61. SRR-61 being the final bolt action for the Recon class in the vanilla mode for Battlefield 4, and he's just going on a massive quick scope spree, gets some headshots, finishes this enemy with his P226, which is the beginning starter pistol. Then he arms the objective after destroying all those enemies. And might I also point out that he's playing on the Xbox, which is a very impressive gameplay to be able to pull this off on the console. It's just a beautiful clip. And so he takes the objective, attacks first, takes out multiple enemies on the objective, and then defends it here. And what makes a clip like this so impressive is that you're in an enclosed area, and the sniper rifles obviously are specific for outdoors, something that's open, more wide open, and a gun like this is designed around more defensive play. So to be able to go in like that and attack with it is just quite impressive. Coming in number 2, we're going to have a clip by Scooter Jack, who's going to be doing playing Conquest, large Conquest on Parasol Storm. And one thing you'll notice is as soon as the game begins, he goes straight for those boats, because the boats on this map, if you guys aren't aware, are probably the most OP vehicles for this map, specifically because it's designed around boats and they caters to a lot of the boat gameplay. So he does a great job by first warding off the first enemy incoming boats, and he goes in for a second attack and tries to attempt to do that, but instead his enemies end up destroying it. So he tries to go and aim for the chopper, ends up not being able to pull that off, and finds himself in a clutch situation where he's out at sea, and he has to make the decision, does he try to go for that boat? Is he able to go for it? They take off, and so his only objective right now is to capture the closest flag, which is sea. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to speed up the clip to get him onto shore, and you'll see what he's going to be pulling off, an overhaul of massive killing spree using the weapon, the ACWR. Now, you'll notice that from the last previous clip that I featured, the ACWR tends to be one of the more primary weapons to use for the carbines because it has such a high rate of fire. You're going to see him why that is, why this is a more favorite of the carbines, because of the high rate of fire and the amount of accuracy it can contain while you're spraying down your enemies from at distances. Either close or medium distances, you're just going to do an overhaul of amount of damage. And you'll see him here, he just does a great job at positioning himself in a way so that he can take out his enemies and still continuously move towards the flag, so he can capture that flag and hold it as long as he can. And so he just unlocks the G36C there, but he goes and makes his way to the rooftop where he tries to take out and finish these enemies with his remaining weapon, the FGM rocket launcher. It's a laser guided one that you can guide into enemy vehicles. And then he finished off the last clip with the V40 grenade, and then beautifully takes the C flag with the aid of his teammates. So again, he did a great job by moving in, keeping that boat from capturing the flags, and then taking the flag himself solo. Our number one clip goes to CrowRaske, who is playing on Battlefield 3, doing the aggressive recon on Rushdown at Peak, and he goes into solo objectively take the AM comm while his team provides cover for all of the enemies that are about to flood out of their cap right now. And you're going to see a bunch of people as he zooms in here to defend the objective, them just flooding out and him just trying to get as many shots as he can to pick them off. And obviously he's doing a really good job to be able to position himself in the right direction so that he can focus on all the enemies that usually come out to try to get to A. And so he gets those headshots and gets back into cover to take the objective and finishes off those last enemies. And then he makes the bold move to go and run out into the open to where the enemy cap is, and then finish them off with the M44 Magnum. And then he is going to check out his surroundings here, and then go straight over to the B objective, which is a great gameplay. I mean, you're going to see him do that pop and shot where he gets his primary, pulls out his secondary, finishes them off, and then he's just doing work right now. The game had just barely started and he's already massively killed a lot of people to be able to do that and then take two objectives. So he dies and then comes back and gets the last objective, and then he's gonna try out and clear out these spawns here, and you'll see him pull off a nice quick scope there, and then just move on to the next objective. Let's just forget what's there. You've already dominated those first two objectives as the aggressive recon, and then let's move on to the next two objectives. So here he's going to be flanking out into the AM comm, and then you're going to see him do a great job at placing a beacon in a spot where it won't be noticed by the enemy. He gets that shot, gets a hit marker off of it, and then pulls out his Beast M44 Magnum and then finishes them off with that pop and shot. And I love that. I absolutely love that. In Battlefield 3, what you're going to be having to do, if you're not always guaranteed the first kill unless you're getting those headshots, so being able to switch to your secondary and have that as a sort of habit is a good tactic. And you'll see him get that collateral there with a Magnum. The thing is just such a beast. It's almost like watching a thready montage play out in just a single clip, and this is just awesome to be able to see this. And he just finishes him off again. So it's surprising that the enemy is not being able to track his, and he's doing a really good job right now because his enemy is taking the objective, and now he's playing a more defensive role, and I like to do this. People kind of shun this off as sort of spawn camping, but in a game type like this, it's encouraged, especially in competitive play, to be able to camp the spawns. You want to keep the enemy far back away from the objectives as much as you can. He does a beautiful job at doing that by just completely destroying their spawns, and they're just not even able to get him out of there. And it just does a wonderful job in allowing his team to take the objectives while he plays a more defensive role by controlling those spawns. And so they're just not aware. They're not aware where he's at, and he's destroying them with their M44 Magnum, being able to just continuously kill after kill, destroy each target. And he's just already taken two objectives, and then now he's allowed his team to take the second two. And I'm very impressed with this kind of gameplay clip. Not only is he being a great attacker, aggressive recon, but he's also playing the defensive tactical role. And then he just ends this beautiful clip with a nice no-scope. So beautiful play by CrowRaske, beautiful play by all the people who submitted their top 5 plays. Thanks again for watching, guys. This has been a wonderful joy, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. If you guys have submitted your clips, there were so many to go through, and I probably didn't select some of them because I've only had 5 to select. They'll probably be featured in the next episode. So submit the ones that you haven't submitted already, or if you don't know that you could submit them, you could submit them here at my email at KingKumaForever@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. My name is Sgt.Enigma. Take care.